Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Build-A-Figure. This is just a series where we check out custom head sculpts, parts and pieces, we do kit bashes, we look at outfit sets, and most importantly, we build figures. This is very quickly becoming one of my favourite series on the channel. I love unboxing and review, figure preview, the collection series, but Build-A-Figure? There's just something so fun and fulfilling about building your own 1/6 scale figures. Now today we are going to be looking at this, more info in just a second, but also a couple of these round code cover neck skins. If you're wondering what these are, don't worry, I will explain. They're actually pretty cool, and this is something that I wish Hot Toys would do going forward with their figures. Remember this? The Andrew Garfield head sculpt we literally just got with the TASM 2 figure that's also technically from Spider-Man No Way Home? Well, the underlying sculpt is actually from TASM 1 all the way back in the day. I was fine with this head sculpt, but it's far from perfect, and it definitely isn't amazing. RCN decided, no, this head sculpt is not good enough. We're going to take what Hot Toys have given us with the skin tone neck, and we're going to do our own version of an Andrew Garfield head sculpt. Enter the RCN Studios Andrew head sculpt. Now, technically, this is not the one that everyone's going to be getting. This is a custom version called the SAD x2 edition. The normal one that everyone else is getting is just the regular version. You'll see what I mean when we get this out here, which is going to happen right now, actually. It does come in this metal tin, and the customizer, the studio is called RCN, but the customizer themselves called Roundcode. Interesting name. Up top, we have a barcode for some reason. On the inside, a strip that says RCN Studios. Nice presentation, Roundcode, well done. It's also very well protected in foam. Now, the reason this one is called the SAD x2 version is because, to put it simply, he looks really sad. They've added a ton of gloss on his eyes. This is kinda supposed to be from the scene where he catches MJ as she's falling off the Statue of Liberty. I personally like this, and I'm pretty happy that this is the only one in the world that looks like this. Like I said, everyone else, the sculpt itself is pretty much identical to this, but it won't look anywhere near as sad as this one does. Okay, so let's dissect the underlying sculpt, seeing as though it is the same sculpt you'll be getting with the normal version. How's the likeness? Does it look like Andrew? To me, shit, yeah, it does, and I can see it from pretty much every angle too. Then the sculpt work, they've aged him up a little bit, because don't forget, this is Andrew from No Way Home. He's a little bit older now. He still looks great, don't get me wrong. They've just made it so that the frown lines are more pronounced, he's got some subtle crow's feet on the side of his eyes, and the dimples, they're also a little bit more prominent. They've added some shading on the sides of his cheeks for natural complexion, couple of freckles here and there. The 5 o'clock shadow looks great, but my favourite detail is the hair. Look at this head of hair, it is so full of life. There's a flow to it, you can make out the individual strands, and it is big and boofy. Compared to the Hot Toys head sculpt, oh my word, it is a night and day difference. I can't believe I liked the one on the left. I mean, it's serviceable, but it is nowhere near as good as the RCN head sculpt. I cannot wait to pop this one on the body. The overall shape of the head sculpt is also significantly better. I don't know what Hot Toys were thinking reusing this head sculpt. They totally could have done a new one. Luckily, RCN, they have delivered the goods. Before anyone pounces on me, I know it was because of licensing they couldn't give us a new head sculpt, and that Bandai had the same issue. But, as a collector, I still would have liked to have seen a new head sculpt from them, and I'm sure they could have sorted the licensing issues out with, money. Now, the Hot Toys skin tone neck matches the skin tone on the Andrew Garfield head sculpt from RCN pretty well. It's not perfect, but the 5 o'clock shadow does break up the line between the head sculpt and neck anyway, so it's not a huge deal. From a distance, on the figure, I think it's going to look perfectly fine. Now, this one does require you to kind of customize it to fit it on there. I'm not exactly sure what the neck connector situation is going to be like on the final version, but I do want to stress, this is a one-off, it's a custom, and it's a prototype. This is not the final version. So the way it connects to the Hot Toys neck may not be the same as how it's going to work on the final one. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, don't you worry, that head sculpt is coming back out here, and we're going to put it on the body. But I wanted to save that because I am dying to look at these round code cover neck skins. These are very interesting. For those of you who don't know what these are, they're essentially just rubber gaskets in skin tone that go over the necks of your superhero suited figures. So if you have them displayed without their masks on, the suit no longer just extends up underneath the head sculpt looking all kinds of weird. There will be a skin tone neck. This is something that I really wish Hot Toys would do. We saw them experiment with something like this with the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, but since then, all we've gotten are those proper switch-out sculpted necks, whereas this is kind of the best of both worlds. There will be no seams if they go this route. The packaging is really cool. It feels very premium. Round code cover neck skin, and I have no idea, by the way, what these are. They are literally blind bags. So let's find out, starting off with the red one. You can order these, and then of course you will know exactly what you're getting. First off, it looks like we have a Spider-Man neck skin, and yes, we will try this on him. There's a lot of skin texture on there. It almost looks a little bit gross, but yeah, it's definitely going to do the job. In the white packet, let's have a look what's in here. We've got one for Black Panther, a little bit of a darker skin tone, only one in here. With the other red packet, will this be another Spider-Man one? Actually, no, it's for Iron Spider. And the bottom is jagged because don't forget when the mask retracts on the Iron Spider suit, the neckline, if you will, is jagged. So yeah, that makes sense. The last white packet before we get to the big one. This one is also Black Panther perhaps. There's no label on this one, so we'll go with that. But this big one, this is an even more premium style of packaging. We've got a little zipper up here. So if we rip this one open, it's also a Ziploc bag, nice and secure. The last one is also for Spider-Man. This is for the quarter scale Spidey figure. So you can go quarter scale, 1/6 scale, no matter what size you want with these neck cover skin pieces. RCN has got you covered. And if you scan that QR code, you can go and check out what other neck skin covers they have. I just want to try out a couple of these and then we'll get back to the Andrew Garfield head sculpt, which is after all the main event. How cool is this? It's such an easy, simple thing to do, and it massively upgrades the figure in terms of realism. Now, the blend between the head sculpt and the suit is perfect. That neck, the skin tone match is on point, and the skin texture matches as well. The jaggedy edge down the bottom, oh, that was a nice touch. Now, it does look like his neck is a little bit long. That has nothing to do with the skin tone neck cover. This is the stock body, the stock head sculpt. It is not sitting up any higher on the neck connector. Oh, and by the way, the articulation is not hindered because of the skin tone neck. Now, if you do want to remove it, you literally pull it off, then you can pop the normal head sculpt back on. And as you can see, with the skin tone neck cover removed, I don't think it looks anywhere near as good. Dude, where have these skin tone neck covers been all my life? On this Black Panther figure, it also acts as a protective barrier between the beard and the suit. On mine, the beard has been rubbing up against the suit and causing a little bit of damage. But now, thanks to the skin tone neck cover, there's an added layer of protection. How good does that look? It now looks like a proper unmasked head sculpt. It now looks like the blend between the head sculpt and the neck is so much more seamless. Now, the skin tone neck cover does tuck up underneath the head sculpt, and the skin tone is a little bit darker than the sculpt itself. I'm perfectly fine with that. There would be a natural shadow cast by the beard, and because the beard is there, it breaks up the connection between the two, so being slightly darker, not a big deal for me. The end result, especially front on, seeing a little bit of that neck poking through, I just cannot get over how good this looks. It just makes so much sense. How is Hot Toys not doing this? It's a little piece of rubber, a little bit of paint, but it goes a long way. The realism factor, it's just been boosted. Now you can see his Adam's apple poking through the skin tone neck, making it look even more real. The skin texture and skin tone match is really good, which is crazy considering how many Tom Holland head sculpts there are. It matches pretty much all of them. But I think that's because the chin is casting a natural shadow under there, so even if it was slightly off, not a massive deal, just like Black Panther. Speaking of Black Panther, he, along with this guy and the Iron Spider, all of them, they're going back in the collection with these skin tone necks on. I cannot get over how good these are. Wow, what a detour, but so worth it, right? RCN, you're brilliant. Those little rubbery gaskets, genius. Back to the main event, the RCN head sculpt on the Hot Toys TASM 2 / No Way Home body. Yes, the head sculpt looks a little bit large, and I think that's mostly because of the hair. That's on point. Andrew has a big head, and he's got a massive boofy hairstyle, especially in No Way Home. This works. It fits in proportion for me. He looks very realistic. And because of the upgraded likeness factor, it now looks so much more like Andrew. Don't believe me? Well, let's put the Hot Toys head sculpt back on. Oh, and also, he can't really look up. He's permanently looking down. With the RCN head sculpt, you don't have that issue. Once again, the neck connector is not finalized, so mine is a hollow head sculpt. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with the finalized one. Right now, it's infinitely adjustable. I can move it up and down, I can move it left and right, not a problem. Whereas with this one, it's permanently stuck looking down, which is a little bit awkward. The likeness is nowhere near as good, and I don't think it really helps the proportions either. Back to the new one. I'm even getting used to seeing the teary eyes. Right now, at least, this is my favorite Andrew Garfield head sculpt. I will be looking at more in the future, so maybe that will change. At this very moment, this head sculpt on this body, this is perfection. I cannot wait to put this guy back in the display. I do want to emphasize that the teary-eyed look that I was just telling you I like, that is not standard. So if you like the way this looks with the more wet look at the bottom of his eyes, just let RCN know. Maybe they will make this version available. But for the standard version, he won't look as sad as this one does. For a quick side-by-side comparison, I don't actually have two of these, this is just movie magic, baby. On the left, the Hot Toys head sculpt, on the right, the RCN version. I don't have to tell you which one I prefer, you already know. But now that you can see them side by side, you can make up your own mind on which one you prefer. Wrapping up on the RCN Studios Andrew Garfield head sculpt and the round code cover neck skins. What a name, seriously. Now, I know this video has skewed more towards the unboxing and review format versus being more build-a-figure-y. That's okay, sometimes we can experiment with the formula and just have some fun. Now, I do want to stress that everything in this review has been provided to me as a review sample by RCN. I do want to say thank you to them for that, but they have not told me what to say. I have been completely honest to my own personal opinion, as I always am. Do I like the skin tone neck pieces? Oh, I do. They're brilliant. I can't believe nobody else has thought of this. They're a super simple, super easy way to modify your figures to look even better. They're an immediate boost in realism, and it's something that Hot Toys, you really should be doing. Just chuck a couple of these in the boxes with your Spider-Man and Black Panther figures before you ship them out, and then when you pop the head sculpt on, you slide the neck skin cover on. Simple, straightforward, effective. I love it. And then the Andrew Garfield head sculpt, the star of the show here. This head sculpt is really good. If this is your first foray into custom head sculpts, you should be very excited. I reckon you're really gonna like it. It's a massive upgrade over the Hot Toys one, so that's a win. And it's now accurate to the actual film that most people are gonna want to represent in their collections. Amazing Spider-Man 2, some people like it, some don't, but No Way Home, a lot more people like that film, so chances are, if you want to display him unmasked, you're gonna want to represent No Way Home, and this head sculpt is perfect for that. Is it a perfect head sculpt? Maybe. It's perfect for me, but it's all down to personal preference. You've seen it in the studio lights, now you can make up your own mind. Don't forget, this is the Sad Times 2 version. The normal version won't look anywhere near as teary-eyed as mine does. Now, I have popped the links to RCN's socials and whatnot down in the description below. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.